Buonasera ragazzi, bentornati allo Scumbar. Io sono White Soul e questa sera ci rivediamo per poter continuare insieme e forse anche finire di End of Glory, videogioco punta e click ed è realizzato da un gruppo di programmatori italiani che ci sta letteralmente divertendo in queste settimane e vediamo dove ci condurranno le indagini di Lars ed Eris, che sono tra l'altro in viaggio per l'Italia, quindi siamo in piena Emilia-Romagna e a Roma. E ci attendono tante sorprese, penso stasera, visto che siamo verso la fine. Speriamo bene. Insomma, un attimo mi faccio partire, perfetto, siamo pronti. Allora, vediamo un po' dove eravamo. Ok, perfetto. Allora, vediamo un po'.
Tekla did mention her father's hatred of flowers. How could I resist such a...
And what's that supposed to be? What the
I thought it might represent an aesthetic improvement.
heck?
Mm.
Useless. Tekla would have thrown it away in an instant. And
Mm. Un modo per guadagnare tempo.
at the moment,
Hands off or all.
was it really worth... The leopard print tarp was... I thought it was... The leopard print... I was all out of ideas. That mummy had been a great hunter, but not a flora. I was all out. In that moment, it didn't... That mummy had been, but not a flora. I thought it was better to... Sometimes, I controlled that... A hard piece of tire that came...
Ci sarà un modo.
Maybe. That mummy had been not a flora.
Allora aspetta, lui che cos'è che dice?
Useless. Tekla
Hai
would have
viaggiato
thrown
via
it
in un
away in an
batteriano,
instant.
dovremmo
And to
per
find a way to gain
guadagnare
some time.
tempo. Forse gliela devo appiccicare, in maniera tale che non... Vediamo un po'. Se qua mi serve la resina, con il fiore con la resina, vediamo un po'.
The resin would have made the orchid...
Infatti, in questo modo diventa più appiccicosa e per lavarla ci metterà un po'. Allora, appiccichiamogliela.
Damn flower again. Don't worry, Tata. What's up with this flower?
Adesso.
Hey, lift the tarp right.
The mechanism must have been stuck.
Oh
So
yeah.
are you going to let... It's about time.
Ok, ho preso l'anestetico. Buon salve! Ciao Mr. Shelt, come stai? Abbiamo ricominciato esattamente dove eravamo rimasti.
That
Vediamo
way I could have sprayed the anesthetic more.
ci manca solo un pezzo della pergamena. Anzi, due pezzi in realtà. Ne abbiamo preso solo uno.
I have an urgent.
Vediamo
Sit down.
se... Tutto bene, tutto bene.
What sins have you committed, lost young
Un po'
sheep?
stanco, però tutto bene.
I'd say
The same.
yes, father.
There's very.
Allora, vediamo se...
How weird. Suddenly
Ok, si è addormentato. E... Pure le
The
chiavi.
signal on the door indicated that Carla was hearing someone's confession. I hoped it was enough.
Perfetto. Ora possiamo entrare nella porta. Opla. Ecco fatto, ci siamo sbloccati la strada.
I could glimpse scary skull shapes, but
Non si vede una chip. Giunto dalla catena,
there was a
forse si
metallic
apre la
ring that
porta.
allowed the chain to be secured once lowered.
Ecco infatti,
Damn,
perfetto.
the latch I needed to lock the chain was broken. The
Ah,
two ones were so close together.
e se utilizzo... Magnete? No,
No matter how hard I tried,
aspetta.
bracelet would be wow.
Perfetto.
I was gripped by awe for a few seconds, surrounded by death as I... Then I realized a huge number of niches in the ossuary. I couldn't
Va
follow.
bene, ci sono tutti sti oculi. Dobbiamo trovare quello che ci interessa. Allora... Padre Alfredo, quindi dobbiamo trovare Padre Alfredo.
Those niches were... The dates on those niches matched what I was looking for was right there, a few inches from me. I couldn't see any reference to eagle wing. What I was looking, I couldn't see...
Ali d'aquila.
Those niches were... Those niches were... What I was looking for was right there, a few inches from me. I couldn't see any reference to eagle
Non
wings.
vedevo nessun riferimento a delle ali d'aquila, ma sarà forse indicavano qualche altra cosa. Vediamo un po'.
Sometimes... I thought it was better...
Ali d'aquila. Torniamo nella chiesa, magari c'è qualche indizio qua. No, ma sicuramente ci sarà.
No matter how hard I tried. Those niches were ancient. Too ancient.
Allora, è qua, questo lato qui.
What I
Allora,
was looking for was right there. I couldn't see any reference to what I was looking. I couldn't. No matter how hard I thought it was better to look. In that moment, I didn't under. Sometimes I'd recovered the.
mhm.
I was
Specchio?
all out of ideas.
No. Il magnete? Neanche. Il metro?
Maybe
Niente.
I didn't under. didn't. What I was looking for was I couldn't see.
Forse devo andare in biblioteca, devo trovare indizi per ste ali d'aquila perché comunque... Allora, incidente di ieri, qualcuno saprà, per forza.
Hey, Olivier. About the piece, I recovered your fragment. The one.
Oh, what a relief.
One of the pieces must be in Castle.
Like a true. Come on, Lazaro.
See you later.
No, non ci può aiutare. Vediamo se magari il tizio De Vilta ci può dire qualche altra cosa.
I had nothing else to.
No. Vediamo se lei lo può dire.
At the moment.
No. Sembra una questione di indizi.
I had nothing else.
No.
Judging by his condition, the glass was translucent, and it didn't let me see how deep the.
E là.
In that moment. In that.
Oh, Taira cara, buonasera. Ciao. Bentornata. Ti sei persa poco comunque, ancora non sono avanzato più di
I had nothing
tanto.
else to add. Crossbow. Sure.
Tutto bene? Ieri alla fine, per via di stanchezza, non l'ho fatta la
And
live.
income.
Vediamo se stasera lo riusciamo a
That
finire
guy
di
would
End
not.
of Glory.
I was done.
No.
It had to be a drain or a ventilation system. I knew I should have updated my knowledge on mid. I already knew the. I also had the. I'd wait for nighttime.
Allora, mi sono girato tutto. A questo punto ritorniamo alla chiesa.
That stained glass window successfully achieved its. That stained. The plaque identified the figure as Saint Leo, patron of the city. I imagined someone more muscular. The plaque identified. I heard Carlo P.
Un'oretta e mezza, se non mi blocco.
What I was looking for was I couldn't see it. I'd recovered the first. No matter how. I was all.
Il punto è che non riesco a capire cosa devo fare.
By that time, they were all using those. I no longer. Just having it. Besides, I didn't need to call Alice. I wondered what my mother. Anyway, I already discovered what.
Grazie.
What I was looking for was right there.
Quello che stavo cercando era lì a pochi centimetri da me, dovevo solo individuare la tomba giusta. Ma come? Come la
I couldn't
individuo
see
la
any
tomba?
reference to eagle
Non
wings.
vedevo nessun riferimento a delle ali d'aquila. Come punti di interazione mi fa interagire solo su due tombe.
Those niches were ancient. Too. What I was looking for was right there. A few inches. I couldn't see any ref.
Ma dov'è che posso trovare indizi? Aspetta, con chi è che non avevo parlato? Magari con loro.
They would have stalled me. They would have stalled.
No. Chi è? Che cos'è che mi sfugge? Aspetta, forse la libreria mi può dare qualche indizio.
The library was well stocked with. The library. I could move it to reach the highest shelf. The library was. And once when I was a child, my pal, I could swear there was some. And once when I was a child, I could.
No.
Clothes, stick it, and whoever was able. The movement of. And red.
Mm. Ah, cos'è che mi sfugge? Cos'è che mi sfugge?
What I was looking for was right there, a few inches from me. I just had to find the right grave. I couldn't see any ref.
Mhm.
I was all out of ideas.
Mm.
What? That panel was a reminder of the forced stay of Felice. The Emperor survived.
Aspetta,
Bartolome Yankovsky. Eagle Wings. Just a second. Father Alfredo wrote that the relic was protected.
trovate,
What's the name of
ho
the
trovato
man
un
I was looking
indizio.
for? One of the holders of the Father Alfredo rested in the church ossuary. Along with, I also learned that a fragment of the scroll was entrusted to a particular knight nicknamed Eagle. I no longer doubted it. The scroll piece had to be in the ossuary, specifically in.
Ok, devo trovare la tomba di quel cavaliere. Ok, adesso sì. Ho telefonato all'assistenza Sony e l'assistenza Sony praticamente gli dobbiamo spedire il controller. Evidentemente proprio il controller che non funziona con la PS5. Glielo sostituiranno al cliente evidentemente. Domani glielo spediamo via Poste Italiane e poi ce lo rimanderanno un altro nuovo.
I looked for Bar. There he was, the knight who was called Eagle Wings, to whom Father Alfredo entrusted. Now, how could I open that niche? It wasn't just walled, but further protected by a thick steel sheet attached with some rivets.
Bene. Come cacchio glieli levo tutte ste cose? Eh sì, tra l'altro PlayStation 5 manco un mese e già subito il pad era rotto.
I was all. That
Aspetta,
marbles.
quante cose posso interagire?
It
I
wasn't possible.
rivetti.
I was all out of.
Come cacchio mi tolgo questi rivetti?
No matter how. I was all out. That marbles. It wasn't.
Mm, mi serviranno degli attrezzi. Attrezzi che non ho. Chi è che potrebbe avere degli attrezzi? Eh sì, ma proprio un bel lumino. L'unico che mi viene in mente è l'operaio che c'è qua. Magari c'è qualcosa che posso prendere.
Judging by his condition, I had nothing else to.
Oh, ma c'è sempre un nuovo enigma, eh? Sempre. Non penso di avere
I had nothing else.
cioè, non credo di avere qualcosa tale da poter aprire una tomba.
Crossbow, swords, dagger, crossbow. It felt like months. That guy would. At the moment. Hey, Olivia. I could be just as. I'm sure it's in the ossuary of the.
Oh, gross, Lazaro.
I'm not particularly excited about it, but it's what I have to do.
I could. Unfortunately, I don't have any fluorocarbon. I can order.
Of course. Can I?
Fluorocarbon is found in firefighting agents, cooling liquids, additives for motor oil, and even some varnishes. Watch how you extract it, though. Fluorocarbon can be harmful to human beings.
È come dire fluorocarburi.
Where did you?
Fluorocarbon is
No,
found in
allora devo
firefighting
procurargli
agents, cooling
fluorocarburi a
liquids,
sto tizio per crearmi una
additives for
sorta di
motor oil,
acido.
and even some
Sono contenuti
varnishes.
agenti di antincendio all'interno dei liquidi di raffreddamento, additivi dell'olio per il motore e addirittura in alcune vernici.
Watch how you extract it, though.
See you later.
Ok, non credo che... aspetta.
In that moment.
No, non credo che sia questo. San Leone, vediamo se c'è... se l'operaio stavolta c'è qualcosa che potrebbe aiutarmi. D'altronde questo stava ristrutturando, quindi vediamo se magari...
Judging by his
Niente, completamente.
I had nothing else.
Vediamo se magari Tecla mi può aiutare.
At the moment.
No. Allora, fluorocarburi. Delle cose antincendio. Ah, nelle vernici, certo. Lui sta
I had nothing
dipingendo.
else to.
Non è lui, come non detto. Scusate.
The library was well. Olive told me that the fluorocarbon was used in
Ah,
the
come
problem
lì.
remained of how to pick.
Ok, usiamo la scaletta.
I could move it to reach the high. Olive told me that the fluorocarbon was used as a cooling liquid. The problem remained of how to pick up.
È come con la siringa. Vediamo.
Olive told me that the fluoro from under there, though, I couldn't reach the air conditioner. Plus, I had to insulate the syringe for safety reasons.
Se la per
The
motivi...
material the tire was made of would have been ideal to a hard piece of.
Allora, andando alla scaletta la possiamo utilizzare.
It wasn't moving an inch. Maybe it had.
Dai, ti prego. Ma sul serio, cioè, tutto si sta
Was it
facendo
really
complicato.
Randy's always.
Allora, devo usare la cosa, quindi forse la gomma la devo squagliare.
I wonder if the fire.
Ok,
Perfectly.
perfettamente isolata, ok.
Part of the.
Quindi quello non ci serve più. Oh, come Ci vorrebbe dell'olio. Qualcosa che...
At the moment,
grasso per motore, qualcosa che possa... Magari la bicicletta può aiutare.
there was nothing else. Hey, Olivia. See you later.
Mm. Servirebbe qualcosa del grasso. Del grasso da poter utilizzare per spostare questo. Spostare la scaletta.
I didn't. In that moment, that
Oppure
small
devo
ladder.
usare qualcosa semplicemente per forzare
No matter
la
how hard I try.
scaletta. Proprio con la forza. No. Il balsamo.
Well, that bomb was.
Ecco, infatti.
The ladder still refused. Now it was time to set aside my elaborate ploys and you.
Ecco.
How impetuous. Yep.
Ora sì. Ci è voluto un po', ma ora sì. Ok. Siringa, condizionatore.
Of course. With the syringe.
You're very ebullient. I had never.
Ok. Andiamo da Oliviero e diamogli la cosa, la siringa.
Here's your floor.
You really managed to find. Do you have a suitable container?
Will this sprayer do?
Double glass, central straw. Right. I can produce an acid that won't corrode it.
15 minuti dopo.
Here we are. A really powerful acid.
Oh,
Be
abbiamo
careful.
trovato. È molto
Things
corrosivo.
in my pockets.
Ho tenuto in tasca cose peggiori. Perfetto. Ok, possiamo tornare alla chiesa, utilizzarlo sul pannello e poter recuperare l'altra pergamena. Mamma mia che giro che abbiamo dovuto fare, ragazzi. Allora, andiamo all'oculo. Usiamo lo spruzzino con l'acido sui rivetti. Togliamo il
Found
coperchio.
myself face to face with he who was the guardian of the scroll. Apart from the skull, his remains were kept under a shroud depicting a rose over a cross.
Ok, quindi ci prendiamo la pergamena.
I could finally get out of that night, but not before recovering my tracking bracelet.
Penso che questa
I had
sessione
two
l'abbiamo
pieces of the
finita.
scroll in my pocket, and all I had to do was.
Ecco, infatti, perché ora passerà del tempo, faremo l'irruzione di notte all'interno del castello.
I was just a step away from the last.
Ma come entriamo se è chiusa la porta? Ah no, forse abbiamo la chiave in effetti. In effetti avevamo la chiave, quindi. Ok. Però almeno chiudi la porta, non è che fatti sgamare. Allora, 81,54. 81,54.
I was finally in the private area, just steps away from the. Eerie. They had installed some artificial lights, but they came and went. I hope they lasted. I didn't want to find myself.
Scolo del
Rush
cannone.
for the cannon. If it was telescopic, I would have. An ancient battered cannon. The access was walled over a very long time ago. I couldn't explain why, but in the vicinity.
Apertura.
That opening reached the surface, letting a feeble natural light seep through. The door had been unhinged from that walled access. Soft artificial light came from. Luckily, because because otherwise I'd have to grope blindly.
Ok, penso che il nostro obiettivo fosse quello di sfondare il muro. Anche perché non avrebbe senso andare. Allora.
I was all out of. I thought it was better. The access was. I couldn't. The brush for the. If it was telescopic. The brush for the. If it was. An ancient battered.
Vediamo un po'.
The access was walled over. I couldn't explain why, but the access. I couldn't. That opening reached the surface, letting a feeble natural light seep through.
E se utilizzassi lo specchio con la
I thought it
botola?
was better to look.
No.
Was it real? I thought it was better to look.
Beh, facciamo un giro per la
I
forte.
wouldn't leave without the light.
No, e allora, cioè, l'enigma è qui. Non c'è altro da dire.
The door had been.
Ma cosa dobbiamo fare?
I thought it was better. Maybe. That opening reached the surface, letting a feeble natural light seep through.
Quindi è una finestra che è data fuori. Cosa mi sfugge?
Was it really? Maybe. In that moment, the brush for it was tele. I was all out. I thought it was. The access was walled. I couldn't.
Che uno, non sono enigmi comunque intuitivi. Allora, sono bloccato qua dentro, non posso uscire. Tovaglietta.
Sometime, I didn't under. I thought it was better. Maybe. Maybe. I thought it was better. I was all out of an ancient battery. Sometimes the access was. I couldn't. I thought it was. Was it really? Sometime. I was all out of. I thought it was. In that moment, an ancient battered can. An ancient.
Cioè, non posso interagire
Brush
con
for-
niente.
it was telescopic.
Che devo fare?
Soft artificial light came from the hatch. Luckily, because otherwise I'd have to grope blindly to move. In that moment, soft artificial. Luckily. I didn't. Maybe. I thought it was better to look.
Ma sicuro che non posso andare via.
I wouldn't leave.
No. Ma poi sono tutte cose dove io posso osservare, non sono... Non c'è una cosa su cui posso interagire. Cos'è che mi sta sfuggendo?
The access was. I couldn't explain. I couldn't explain. The access was walled over a very long time ago. I couldn't explain why.
Aspetta un minuto. La sciarpa.
The scarf was moving, as if blown by an air draft. Judging by the direction in which it was waving, the gust of wind seemed to emanate from the walled access.
Allora c'è una
I touched the
feritoia.
wall, searching for the orb. Here's the
Ah,
mystery explained. Part of the wall had only been. The passage continued downward. How much deeper did that place go?
Isn't it fascinating?
Oh, good. It's been a while since someone pointed a gun at me.
I must have underestimated you, Bundy. Radwed warned me to watch out for you. Evidently he has more faith in your
quindi
abilities
sta
than I
dicendo
do.
che Radwed con lui collabora.
Yeah, faith. I want to offer you a confession. I never had much. All that talk of
What's this rose you all keep talking about?
useless pseudo-religious fetishes. They're nothing more than fanatics busy killing each other in the name of oaths as ancient. I'm only interested in power, and you got in the way.
It's not the first time I've heard that. And it won't be the last.
Aren't you curious to know what happened in...
I see you're anxious to tell me, so...
We've been keeping an eye on San Leo for a long time.
Dice che ci sono dei misteri su San Leo.
To discover this section almost by chance. Radwed immediately sensed what it was about.
Diciamo che Radwid praticamente
ha
collaborato con lui per cercare di appropriarsi di questo castello.
The piece of scroll was right there in that gallery behind you. An ancient conduit used as an escape route.
E anche loro cercavano i frammenti di pergamena.
A part at least. But you already know that, right? You found the remaining pieces for it.
Fortunately for you.
Now it's you who's underestimating us. If they're not here with you, the bartender is harmless. Well, the Polish woman could be a problem, but I'll take care of that later.
There was no time.
Ma?
A narrow and tortuous path was preventing Beringler from sprinting fast enough to increase his... Although I was pedaling to the best of my ability, I couldn't add the epiphany. The new propulsion system I had installed by pedaling fast enough, it would be activated, giving me a nice boost for... Although I was pedaling to the best... Prepared for the leap forward.
C'ha il NOS, che cacchio è?
I wish that old hag Gwendolyn Pratt.
Ma lol. Quasi quasi.
Beringler looked scared. I wouldn't be able to break the...
Non morire. È morto. È morto. Se utilizzo l'acido?
That kind of acid had no effect on glass. The Ringler looks.
Mm. Occupiamogli la visuale. Bene, ma sono sopravvissuto. Che è successo? La mattina dopo.
Guys, it was one of the most spectacular falls of my life. I'm lucky I didn't break anything. The bush was providential.
Ah, ha beccato un cespuglio. Che
Are you
fortuna.
sure that bearing where?
I made sure of his condition, and I even made an anonymous call for an ambulance. Luckily, he wasn't running very fast, given the kind of road.
You're a pair of pussies. If it didn't happen that way, I'd have broken a few of his.
Have you recovered all the scroll pieces? You even attached them.
Perfetto, ha
Is
preso
that
anche
the
il
lost seal of
terzo.
Cagliostro the doctor was talking about?
I don't think so. Maybe this scroll is what we need to find.
I hate snakes.
We have to inspect it from top to bottom.
Ok, quindi analizziamo bene questo simbolo.
The arrow pierces the snake from side to
La freggia
side.
trafigge il serpente da
It
parte a
could indicate a
parte.
direction.
I think so. Well, let's keep it in mind. The snake that bites the apple could be a reference to Genesis.
I wonder how people can believe that a woman was created from the rib of a man. You two combined don't even have half my backbone.
The story of Adam and Eve is a metaphor to teach mankind to be patient and not defy the divine law.
What do you know about that stuff?
I took a basic theology course as an elective, and to think I chose it only to get 6 easy credits.
So the apple would symbolize a beginning, but a beginning of what?
A snake that bites an apple pierced by a golden arrow.
You're starting to get into it, Tech?
No, it's just that I mistrust snakes. Animals as sneaky and dangerous as they are fascinating.
Huh. Maybe it's the power of suggestion.
You're
In
right.
effetti.
How curious.
What's that writing on the right?
Polish poetry. What are we? The book.
There must be a reason it's here. Tech, read and translate.
Allora,
Spying from the highest sky.
spiando dall'alto dei cieli,
Be serious.
The soldiers observed something or
Thanks to the silent
grazie alle
indications
mute
of the
indicazioni
count.
del conte.
How can indications be silent? And how could the Count give them indications if he was dead?
he was dead, but he left something behind.
So the soldiers used the seal of Cagliostro as directions?
We left the flame
Lasciammo il
covered safe
rifugio
haven.
sicuro ricoperto di fiamme.
Oh, this is strange. How can a haven be safe but simultaneously covered in flames?
In effetti,
I can't think of anything.
Under the threat
sotto
of
la
the roar of
minaccia
bricks.
del ruggito di mattoni.
The roar. The
Il
beast.
ruggito, la bestia.
Let's hope not. You searched for that animal for.
You're overlooking the most interesting detail.
Un ruggito
Why
di
a roar?
mattoni.
Good. We must have analyzed everything.
I think so too. But what should we do with these clues?
In my opinion, they are encrypted geographical references.
So we just need to examine a map?
No, wait. I doubt the Polish soldiers had a satellite map of the area. At best, an unreliable. Then there's that opening line. Spying from the highest sky. I think I get what it means.
La torre.
The Polish soldiers found an elevated place. A place from which it was possible to...
Highest sky, an elevated place.
Look at them talking about conspiracies and investigations.
Alright, we need a high place. A place that the Polish soldiers might have used at the time.
There's the civic tower of San Leo. High is high, and it dates back well before the arrival of the Count in San Leo. The problem is we can't enter. Unless...
I was thinking the exact same thing.
What are you looking at, you bump on a log?
Se non possiamo raggiungere dal basso, ci arriviamo dall'alto. Tanto lei l'elicottero ce l'ha, quindi.
We have a complete overview of all the points of interest in our surroundings.
We're admiring the same sights the soldiers who recovered Cagliostro cast their eyes on.
Very. But now, let's focus. We must find the 3 references we came here for. The
Quindi
war
dobbiamo
bricks,
trovare
the
riferimento al
snake,
ruggito di
and
mattoni,
the
il
flame-covered
serpente e il
safe.
rifugio sicuro in fiamme. Ruggito di mattoni. Beh, potrebbe
That's
essere
Castle
questo.
Sancti Leonis.
Sarà questo.
The roar could
I know what you're thinking here. Castle Sancti Leonis.
It would make sense to describe it as a threat, considering that the Polish knights were Okay, we have a
Ok.
reference point, but we need another if we want to find...
Allora, poi che cosa abbiamo tra tutte le cose? Il serpente e il fuoco. Che potrebbe essere? Aspetta, questo cosa? Vulcano? No.
We left the flame-covered safe
Lasciamo
haven,
il sicuro rifugio ricoperto di fiamme.
a place that could be considered safe, but at the same time... What can you tell me?
The Sant Igne convent. Well, it's old.
I don't know. Does the name...
Now that you mention it, yes. I once read that the name was originally Sant Enya, and only later renamed Sant Igne. Sant Igne can in fact be translated.
Ah, e allora loro
The
sono.
name of the convent is sick. Well, that's it. It must be one of the clues to the symbol. And now we found 2 reference points.
If we link them, we might get a direction.
We're doing well, but we still need other references.
Right. For now, we just have a generic direction. We can't.
That road has a peculiar...
Può essere che questo.
Maybe I'm deluding myself.
Hell, you're right. It's the snake.
But the clue couldn't possibly refer to the whole road. Well, let's check it out more. Look at that circle of trees in relation to the head of the snake.
It looks. Of course. It corresponds with the apple on the seal of Cagliostro.
So, if that's the apple, we can draw the arrow that pierces the snake. That's it. That's a spot where the 2 reference points meet.
Un albero.
We really did it, Lazaro. We found it.
Don't get your hopes up yet, though. We could have made a mistake.
There's only one way to find it.
Perfetto, ok. Stiamo andando avanti, vediamo. Siamo qua.
I wonder how many times I've flown over this area without knowing.
Come on, Lars. You're always laughing.
I like to see you climb with all this junk in your pockets. And, by the way,
Have you seen anything useful?
actually, I wanted to tell you that Tekla gave me the orchid back.
Still on that? We could be on the verge of bringing a treasure of.
You know, I was just like you when I was younger. I wanted to be a big detective, conquer the world, leave a mark. But lately I've come to realize that you can also be happy settling for the little things.
Sì,
While
è
there's
vero.
still time.
I don't want to settle. I want to become someone. You guys, look here instead.
These carvings go deep inside the cortex. They must be very ancient.
Don't you understand what they represent?
We found the apple. In that moment, I realized I'd already seen that symbol. It was the mark the doctor traced at the Molsberg residence.
Ah,
at
infatti,
the
è lo
beginning
stesso
of everything
simbolo.
Genesis. This means that down here,
Right under our feet.
There's an old moldy mummy that can't wait to stretch its legs.
just how you like it, Tech. Maybe we should have brought your father.
How many times do I have to say this? My father is not.
Guys, which 2 of you is starving? I can.
That's not our stomach, idiots.
Oh, oh, che cos'è? Che cacchio è? Oddio. Ma che mosse?
On the ground. I'll take care of it.
Don't shoot, Tekla. You can make it even matter. Putting...
Sì, potrei usarlo in effetti.
I thought it was better. wasn't a bad idea.
E come... vabbè. Manubrio.
Inside that yoke was. It wasn't a bad idea. Was it really? No matter how hard. I thought it was better to. In that moment, all I had left of my poor green dart.
Ah, proprio il manubrio della Green Dart.
I graded the.
Però potrei fare una cosa.
No matter how hard I tried. Bobby the. I thought it was better. The yoke was huge. If it wasn't for that rock, I would have been found out in the open. Olive. He was still confused and suffering from the blow. He was still confused and... Tech, shoot.
Could be dangerous. Are you
Maybe it's best...
No.
Try to figure something...
Allora. Come posso fare?
I thought it was... The yoke was huge. No matter how... The yoke was... I didn't It wasn't a bad idea, but I could... The yoke was... In that moment, was it really... Tech,
could be dangerous.
maybe it's... I'll try to...
Devo trovare un modo.
I didn't I thought it was better. In that moment... I thought it was better. Sometimes... Was that the... Was it really worth it? Maybe. In that moment... I didn't... It wasn't a... Maybe. He was still
Boh, alla fine fa il game over e mi ritorna la schermata di prima, quindi.
We gotta...
Si è incazzato. E infatti. E allora dobbiamo fare qualcos'altro.
He was still confused. Sometimes, my obsession... The yoke was huge. It wasn't for that. Whether by luck or experience, he was still confused. He was still confused. In that moment, I hurried. I didn't need. I wonder what I'm. No longer needed to call. Just having to. Besides, anti-interception. Just having to talk. Besides, anti. By that time, I only had a game. I was complete rubbish. Was it real? Was it real? Sometime. In that moment, it wasn't for. The yoke was huge, and all was leaning against it. The yoke was huge. I thought it was better. I didn't. In that moment, maybe. Sometime. Was it really? The yoke was.
Dai. È difficile trovare una soluzione.
No matter. Was it real? No matter how hard. I thought it was. Sometimes. I was all. I thought it was better. I was all. In In that moment, maybe. Sometimes yoke was here. I was all. Sometimes I thought it was. I was all out of. I thought it was. Inside that syringe. Was that the key to the heart of the?
Interesting reaction.
Maybe. Have you got any idea?
I'm afraid normal hunting techniques won't. We need to observe its behavior. Study it for a while and...
I noticed that it never takes its eyes off.
It must be attracted to bright colors. Maybe it's your...
My scarf, huh? I'll try to figure... Tekla, as soon as the beast is distracted, runs towards Olive and get...
Whenever you're ready.
Stupido.
Olive was finally safe.
Curious.
What are you talking about?
Why doesn't the beast charge you? It was distracted by Olivier.
I guess its aim isn't so much to hurt us as to protect something.
A guard animal. The behavior matches. It doesn't want to be led away from the area it has to protect. But it attacks as...
This leads us to two conclusions. The first is that we're in the right spot. What we're looking for is right at the foot of the bone. The second is very worrying. We have... If it wasn't for that rock, I would have been...
Ok. Non devo avanzare.
Check.
It could be dangerous.
We got it.
Vediamo.
It looks even more...
After a shot with this narcotic? No. Enough to slow it down at least.
That's something. But now you have to take Olive.
Can you handle things a...
Defeating the raging monster with a scarf. Ah, it's
I have to admit, Cretin.
alone again to face death. After all, but Gary...
Posso essere un pochino più lento rispetto a prima.
It wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a bad idea.
Io ho il tempo di potermi scansiare, forse. Vediamo.
Despite the dose of...
Mhm.
The needle couldn't penetrate the acorn. I didn't understand. In that moment... Was it real? I thought it was better to look...
Si rimangia. Ok, quindi significa che devo mettere l'anestetico dentro la ghianda. Ma come cacchio lo faccio?
I didn't under... I thought it was better...
Aspetta. Ecco, spacchiamole.
That was a really great plan.
Ok,
Last chance.
vediamo. Forse stavolta funziona.
There were moments of agonizing.
E là ha cappottato. Perfetto. Così White Soul vince ancora.
I saw the helicopter vanishing in the distance. In the direct...
Bene, come non detto.
Couldn't say the same for me. The beast seemed determined to charge, yet it resisted. Maybe it...
Cacchio. C'era la corda. Devo solo aspettare che arrivi la corda.
Hey, Chris, would you ever have believed that forgetting a shovel would save your life?
Bene. A posto.
I got rid of
Cominciamo a
that
scavare.
beast, still amped on adrenaline. I started digging the... And finally, right before my eyes, was the coffin where the weight of history crushed me like an insect. I'm a bit intimidated by what I might find inside the coffin. No
E
trace
non
of
c'è
Castro's
niente.
body. Centuries have passed, but not some... After the initial shock, I noticed another detail.
La bara era totalmente d'oro.
As soon as I picked up the bracelet, the wood on which it had rested for centuries started to... I
What the
witnessed plenty of
fuck?
strange things in those days, but this time, I was speechless. What kind of power did that tiny... While I prayed not to end up like Pinocchio, I was warned by my sixth sense. I felt... I carefully looked at the wall. To the touch, I thought I felt tiny...
Una fessura. Tu vuoi vedere che dove si
I never
inserisce la
figured out
chiave?
what the second key someone made me find in my end. All that time,
Ah,
I'd gone walkabout with a
avevo
centuries-old
sempre
heirloom in
avuto
my pocket.
praticamente la chiave per poter trovare
The
il
secret alcove was
medaglione.
hiding a medallion with an engraved symbol that resembled a pentacle. I'd seen many of them at crime scene. Plus, it emitted strange vibrations. Whatever its meaning, that was the object I needed to find.
I must ask you to turn around without making any sudden moves, please.
Father Carlo.
Padre Carlo. È lui che ci fa qui. Anche lui coinvolto in tutta sta storia.
Please, don't blame me for this. I have been forced to do everything they ordered. Do you think I'm proud of my actions? That I'm glad to have contributed to the murders of poor innocent souls?
Omicidi di poveri innocenti. In che senso?
You could refuse to cooperate.
My sister Marie keeps Professor Visconti
Ah,
under
ok,
control
c'ha la
for
sorella
the
che
use
è
of
stata
drugs and
rapita.
infusions. But they keep an eye on her in the meantime. If I backed out of this, they would have killed her after inflicting unspeakable torture.
You're a perfect example of that. I bet you weren't so confused before.
I must not waste time. You have to give me what you discovered inside Cagliostro.
I understand. At this point, I don't think I have any other choice.
Che braccialetto tracciatore gli ha dato?
What are they trying to do? The bracelet is able to stop their plans, and they don't want the risk. They desperately looked for it for centuries. Slowed down what
Stop their plans.
so there's a hope. You still don't understand. They're in my head, constantly talking, sneaking in thoughts.
Ci sono
that are
nella
not
sua
mine. I
testa,
can
lo
hear
stanno
them
proprio
even now.
manipolando.
Shoot, Carlo. Shoot now.
Ma?
I'm sorry.
Oddio. E adesso?
When I woke up, I instantly recognized where I was. Carlo left me
No,
for
ti
dead,
prego, sono
rotting
dentro la
inside
tomba.
Cagliostro's coffin.
Oddio, l'avete mai visto Kill Bill volume 2? Oppure se il film è sepolto vivo, o la puntata di CSI dove c'era probabilmente uno degli agenti di della CSI che era stato rapito ed era stato praticamente imprigionato sottoterra dentro una bara. Mamma mia.
The next thought was that I was still alive. I clearly heard the bullet whistling past my ear, missing me by only a few inches. After all, Carlo certainly wasn't a trained killer, and he didn't realize I was knocked unconscious. The first instinct was to start shouting like crazy, but the little air I had left was too precious. The shortage of oxygen was also the reason I couldn't wait for Tekla to come back.
Avrò ancora qualcosa.
That was a real... I hope suffered a tough blow. The spray bottle spewed only air, and not the liquid. I
No.
looked at the device ice and realized what the problem was. I was forced to use it at a very specific angle inside the coffin, and the straw wasn't able to catch it.
Cacchio.
I tried every possible position, but was too restricted in my... Only had a way to direct the straw towards the few drops of liquid remaining. I'd have gotten out of there in a split second.
Ma ti prego.
Carlo must have replaced the old-time worn nails with some brand new ones. The lid didn't. I was all out of Maybe. Father Carlo had ensured I couldn't.
Ci sarà un modo per poter...
The magnet wasn't powerful enough to move the straw from the outside. It was too big to...
Mamma mia che ansia, ragazzi.
The spray bottle only had a way to direct the straw towards the few drops.
Sì, sicuramente. Oh, guardate che è tremendo. Allora.
Pressing it firmly, the compartment snapped closed.
L'ho sbriciolato. Ho sbriciolato il magnete.
Was the pressing it?
E se...
It was my get out of jail.
Vediamo. Geniale. Ma come ci staresti tranquillamente?
There. Oh, I can't believe it. Did I really?
After all the obstacles you've overcome, you...
How did you find me?
It wasn't him who found
Oh, nostra Alice.
All right. Now I'm even more.
I told you I would go to Rome, and I must say, I got...
I already thanked you for saving me, but now we demand some answers.
What is your actual role? And why did you drag me into this madness?
My role is to ensure that events follow the established course, as predicted by the Grand
Fa
Master
parte
of
lui
the
di
Order
di
to
un
which I
ordine?
belong.
Sì.
A cult of fanatics.
Galilei, Bach, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Newton, and many others.
Ah, addirittura tutti questi
Find them as
illuminari praticamente appartenevano a questa setta.
How should we define them then?
brothers, appointed to remove the veil of ignorance from the eyes of fools, to push society towards progress, transmuting this world, united under the symbol of the rose
Vedi
and
sotto
the
il simbolo
cross.
della rosa e della croce.
The rose and the cross again. I'd come across them many times during my investigation. Now that I think about it, Duke Ravendish's company was renamed Fallen Rome.
The Ravendish family has always belonged to us, but the Duke was lost. You contributed to the Fallen Rose, or more accurately, the Rosa Difetta, is nothing more than an
Quindi questa
abomination.
Fallen Rose è un abominio fondato da Radwid dopo aver rinnegato la sua fede nei loro confronti, salvando di una setta. Lui ha realizzato una setta gemella che condivide le stesse idee ma che di fatto le applica per tornaconto personale piuttosto che per il bene del genere umano.
For centuries, they've been searching
Da
for
secoli sono sulle tracce di Cagliostro. Fortunatamente la tomba del conte fu rinvenuta dai loro adepti.
the Polish soldiers you tracked down.
I soldati polacchi che hai ritracciato. Radwid e i suoi li cacciarono e li sterminarono, ma le pergamene erano ormai al sicuro, nascoste finora.
Are you actually telling me that Radwin was already alive in 1795?
Radwid è vivo dal 1795.
He went by the name Edward at the time. Now
Certo,
show me the
giustamente si
rose.
faceva chiamare Ed.
That is the Sigillum Emeth.
The last still active seal, created by the Grand Master Cagliostro, before he was framed by the only defense you'll have against Radwid and his Hand of Glory.
An artifact with unlimited power, used in the past to unleash the fury of the seas and destroy an entire fleet. The invincible armada.
Ah, ecco, infatti l'avevamo visto nella live precedente.
He realized he had raised forces he couldn't control and destroyed it.
È un amuleto che consente di... consente di avere dei poteri praticamente particolari.
I still don't understand how the...
We were sure Radwood would use the flesh of the unborn, ripped from the suffering mother, to produce that glory.
I read that the hand can also be created using the fat of a hanged man who died in hatred.
Molesberg oozed hate from every pore.
Ah, ecco,
The little...
infatti.
In Cagliostro's coffin, I found a golden bracelet shaped like a snake. Carlo knew about its
Cagliostro was the bearer of our initiation secrets, and he knew that sooner
Come è
or
molto
later
esoterico
someone
sto
would try to
gioco.
bring back that. Consequently, he created the sigilio as a shield.
Are you saying the bracelet is capable of blocking the hand's...
That's why the wood of the coffin turned to gold when I removed the bracelet. The ornament had blocked the transformation process. Well...
What? You just said you had to turn it over to...
I threw him a bracelet. The same one used by Allison.
The tracking bracelet?
That thing had been eroded by brackish water, traveled halfway around the world, and it even spent a few hours tied to the tailpipe of a vintage car. The fact that Carlo isn't exactly a smart guy...
Surprising. Really surprising.
Chosen?
Every master is obliged to personally select the new
Ah,
members of the
ecco,
order.
quindi anche questi qua stavano cercando un nuovo membro dell'ordine e quindi avevano scelto Lars.
But above all,
What are you talking about?
You can't deny you felt very good after you inhaled my gas. Stronger.
Gas.
More vigorous. Your lung.
Wait, you...
I can make this effect permanent. My initiation
Ah, per il fatto che comunque lui ha il cancro e fosse questo gas che gli ha iniettato, dice che forse lo ha guarito.
Lars,
Alice, you said the doctor saved you in Rome. How?
he claims that Marie wanted to kill me overnight, so...
So he put her to rest. And that's not all. You knew where Catherine and the kid were from the beginning. You delivered the picture that led us to Radwood's factory and gave me the clues to solve the map on the sea. You knew everything. And yet you preferred pursuing this crazy quest rather than stopping Radwood.
Radwood is not an enemy we can face alone.
He knows all your dirty tricks.
I'd like you to reflect well before refusing such an offer. I won't give you a second chance.
Lars, if he can
Let's go, Alice.
So be it. May the rose and the cross guide the last actions you'll take.
Oh, ma tu guarda, la bibliotecaria, Ecco che perde tutto il suo fascino.
Little things, right? See you soon, Lazaro.
E adesso cosa ci aspetta? 20 novembre, Inghilterra.
Oh, here you are. Finally.
Apologies. I went to fresh...
You've always worn the same clothes since this whole...
You think it was easy to find a short sleeve coat with a hole for letting the scarf pass through? Besides, you also... Ah, nothing. You look nice, you know?
Anyway, I have bad news. Radwood and his men
Dice
must
che ha
have discovered
cattive
your deception
notizie.
and disabled the tracking bracelet. We know they reached West
Che
Rotfield.
hanno trovato il braccetto tracciato e l'hanno disattivato.
So,
Varie
stuck?
sandwichetti, ma che cavolo.
Not really. Do you remember the doctor's I started researching the territory using the two terms as keywords, and I almost immediately got feedback.
Are you referring to Wheelo's blog?
No, a guy named Rupert Saucer, the classic zealot who lives in a trailer. Saucer claims that in an exclusive local cemetery, the King Lyrie...
Rosicrucian. Is that the name of the doctor's...
The information I
Ah, i
found
Rosa
refers to
Croce,
a
ecco
group of
infatti.
enlightened intellectuals, of which very little is known. Guess who's listed among the alleged Grand Masters of the...
Count Cagliostro.
As you would say?
We'll have time later to investigate the Rosicrucian further. But for now, we have to inspect the...
Wait. I think you should keep this.
It's grinding.
I don't feel like walking around with some cursed ancient. And now let's go.
So that was the place where it would all end. Made me miss the brackish air of Miami, or the shining sun of San Leo. Well, let's... I wondered if it was linked in any way to the Rosa cruise ship, but the... I wondered if...
Praticamente ho pochissime cose. Sì, meglio.
I wondered if... As much as I was tempted... That tomb... Unfortunately, it was locked, and I couldn't see anything useful on this... The graveyard. A typical pile of ashes of an obsessive smoker. Alice, let's try to talk to the owner. Good morning.
This must be my lucky day. I haven't seen so many visitors for years.
I thought cemeteries received hundreds of people.
Not this one, beefcake. Only a few people can afford to tread the
Beefcake, huh?
As a result, I'm stuck here alone. Oh, it's deadly boring.
Listen, we'd really like to chat with you, but we're in a rush. We're trying to...
Do you see that tree? Follow that path and you'll...
Thanks.
Hey, wait for... Wow. This cemetery's got...
The farther we proceed, it gradually...
Piano. Ah, ecco.
I have
Bene.
good news and bad news. You see...
The blonde and the goon?
Yep. Gene and Mama. Brad Wedd's henchmen.
Ouch.
Hey, relax. This guy's already handled them successfully a couple of times.
No, Lars, you're on my foot.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the good news?
At least they saved us the trouble of searching for the crypt. It's...
Entering will be more...
Fortunately, neither of them shines with acumen. With the right idea.
We have to find a way to distract them and open the...
A two-phase plan.
It'll be quicker if we split the tasks. You take care of the crypt,
You're crazy. I can't let you do it. Even if Mama looks like a pig with a wig.
Listen, they're forced to stay in the vicinity of the crypt, right? So if you go back to Quentin's pub and find a way to access the crypt. I'll try to push them as far as possible from the area. From intern to action hero in no time.
Alice.
Get out of here before...
The...
Ah, addirittura. Vabbè.
What's the big deal? Distracting two killers?
È un gioco di ragazzi, sicuramente.
A bunch of drop...
Ma che cosa abbiamo? Ah, niente praticamente.
I'll leave such little thefts to Lars. A good... Maybe it'd be better not to poke around. Better not tempt fate too much. I'll take the wire. Without that wedge, the two... Simple. I'd even say... The gold covering of this cross would... A surveillance camera. This one in particular, I could use them to dig up information on our enemy. It's probably just some silliness. A little mound of hot, crackling... No. She seems like... Have you got him?
I have all...
Can you give me some information on this?
The King Library is a very exclusive place. New families are not allowed. Most of the crypts in here date back before 1600.
How many people work?
It's just me and Matthew, the janitor. He doesn't do anything but clean. He never even finds 5 minutes.
Do you know anything about the visitor?
You mean that rude blonde in the company of that big dude?
Are you serious?
Of course. ease her sexual time.
Beh, non credo proprio.
Hope not. Or we'd have to add incest to their substantial pile of sins. I didn't think graveyards had such...
The King Lyre has many ancient tombstones, and some of them are crammed full of jewels or marble
Ah,
statues.
addirittura ci
A thief
sono
could acquire a
molte
real
tombe
fortune
piene
here.
di gioielli e
Can I
tesori.
take a look at the video recording?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't let her. However, I can come out if you like. We could talk.
I don't have much of those. I'm just an ex-intern. Time's running out and I have to check those recordings. Are you
Absent.
I'll keep it...
Oh, well.
Distraiamola.
Without that wedge, the... Simple. I can't enter... I always get the chills when I see one of these pass... Gold cover... Better not. Not a... Maybe I can use them some... I'll leave some... A good... Maybe it'd be... I don't really like this...
A posto.
Fire!
We need some water. Quick!
There's a little fountain on the other side of the cemetery.
Perfetto.
I have only a few minutes. I can't believe my eyes. This a sunny day. Judging by the description Lars gave me, that must be Father Carlo. This camera is covered by something. Oh no. I didn't realize I was caught on camera. That's why the camera at the entrance doesn't capture. Here's our two henchmen arriving. What's the woman doing? Am I wrong, or is she...
Ma che ha?
Of course! She's locking the car with the remote control. I can hear footsteps getting close. Just in time. So that red car is Mama's and Eugene's.
E con un filo di ferro la posso
Let's take a
aprire?
closer look. Mama left the window slightly lowered. I'd call that
Allora sì.
an old trick I saw. All right, I'm about to
Perché? Che è
squeeze
successo?
inside the car of a killer. No one in. It's closed with a. I need to focus. Another old.
La chiave. E apriamo il panno portaoggetti. La pistola pure.
I haven't held a gun since besides. No.
No, avevo visto la schermata della telecamera. Però mi sembrava che aveva una mina nelle mani, invece in realtà aveva il telecomando per chiudere la macchina. Tutto qua. Allora.
The car is angled downhill. Relief seems like a valid plan to me. Let's say I'm finished here. Better get back.
So you light the fuse.
And are you sure this will cause enough of an explosion?
Depends on the gunpowder, but yes, it should.
Lars, are Are you involving a stranger?
Involving in what? Good old Christian here was just helping me solve a little domestic problem.
It often happens. You install a nice armored front door to keep out the ill intention, but then you forget. Fortunately, you didn't lower the anti-theft hook. Otherwise, even the dynamite would...
Dynamite?
Maybe that's an exaggeration.
Well, Christian, I really must thank you. If it weren't for you, I would probably be...
It was nothing. Let's have a drink.
Ma?
So this is your plan?
I know it's crazy, but we must get in fast. Even if you provide us with the best of Anyway, what's...
I identified Mama's car and managed to force my way in. The car's on a slope.
Alice, I did not expect that from you. Breaking into car, I'm proud of you.
And now?
As planned, give me time to manufacture an explosive. The most complicated part will be to find something that serves as a powerful
Something like.
Ma sentire fuori le armi così.
Are the...
Wrong, Lazarus Bundy. I'm not your assistant.
You're right. So, wait for me here, partner.
Oh, che bello.
So, are you single?
Ma vatti là fuori tuoi, no?
Gosh.
Final madness of Lazarus Bundy was about to start. The main event, so to speak. The guy at the table had even scribbled down how to manufacture a
Quindi
handmade explosive stick.
devo fabbricare un cannellotto di dinamite artigianale. Mi serve polvere da sparo, miccia, tappo. Il contenitore cilindrico ce l'abbiamo, tutto sommato, ed è il manico della cosa. Ok. Pistacchio.
Can't believe what I saw. A little delicious.
Abbiamo un bel pistacchio.
He looked like the type on closer inspection. Alice would. I doubted Quentin would let me take it. I thought it was better to look for. No matter. I always found old jukeboxes fat. Hey there.
Can't you wait 8 minutes or so, damn it?
I'll be quick. I worked in a bar.
I'm not hired.
Are you sure? I make amazing.
We don't serve cocktails here.
Do you also sell strong stuff here?
Finally, you order something. I was starting.
Nice whiskey, please.
Whiskey? Ha! You American.
I'm not exactly American.
The English nectar par excellence. Born in the Middle Ages as a medicine and surviving until today
Is gin
a medicine for the soul.
Un po' di gin. Oh yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's £8.
It's a bit dark around here.
You think so too? I was considering putting some 100.
I was being ironic.
England is a pretty rainy place. Actually, you know.
Putting it in my coat was out of the question, but I could. And by using it, I didn't mean drink.
La moneta potrebbe essere utilizzata come tappo.
Although gin was flammable, it wouldn't be necessary as an ingredient for the explosive mix.
No, ma servirebbe per la miccia. Aspetta che non avevo finito di parlare col tizio, vediamo se magari...
Hey there. I suppose you're...
Not much. I have everything I need.
So you don't know anything about...
The cemetery. You'd like it. What?
I've already been there, actually.
Well, go back there.
I'll leave you...
Good.
always found old jukeboxes fascinating. Alice would.
Va bene, allora vediamo un po' di trovare.
Unfortunately, it was long.
Cosa ci serviva? Aspetta, indicazioni di Cristi. Polvere da sparo, tappo, miccia.
No matter how hard I tried. For my little project, I needed some gunpowder.
La polvere, giustamente abbiamo una pistola, le munizioni, la polvere da sparo ce l'abbiamo portata in mano. Manca solo la miccia.
As much as. I wondered if. No.
E questo chi è?
Hey,
Do you need
I just wanted a word with you.
I'm Matthew, and you know, from dust you have come and to dust you shall return. I was trying to stay in character.
You just gave me. You worked at the library long.
Nah, I found this amazing job just a couple of months ago.
You're being.
This is a cemetery reserved for nobles and aristocrats, with a minimum turnout of visitors. I pretend the most complex task I have to deal with is the maintenance of the tombstones. You know, making the inscription.
But don't you feel a deep sense of responsibility towards the people?
Let's put it this way, none of my customers have ever...
What can you tell me?
She's one of the plagues of Egypt. She'd be able to babble 24 hours a day.
I'll leave you. The candle wax would be useful to see.
What are you doing?
I'm interested in this.
This isn't a souvenir shop.
Fine, fine, I get. I had nothing else to.
Don't climb, mate. You could...
Well, it's nice to see.
I'm not worried about you, I'm worried for me.
Ci dobbiamo sbarazzare di sto tizio, al più presto.
No. As much as I was tempted. That tombstone had to be a work in progress. Judging, it was Matthew who handled that. But at the moment, that deadbeat would. As much as I. Unfortunately, it was locked, and I. I had nothing else to. The maintenance over there. That tombstone had to be a work in progress. Judge, it was Matthew who handled that. But at the moment, that. I thought it was better. So Matthew was responsible for the tombstones of.
What was that noise?
Oh, something hit a tombstone.
Really?
Great.
Of course, because I will be forced to call Matthew in and I will finally.
I'll call him for you. I'm.
Ok, quindi chiamiamo Matthew.
Hey. I think you're.
No, please. Are you sure?
I'm afraid so. There's a tombstone.
Oh, how devastatingly boring. She'll make my...
Pazienza, Matthew. Ora togliti dalle scatole e io mi ciullo la candela.
After I got rid of Matthew, I prepared it.
Vediamo se c'è altro.
The tarp was tied with a rubber wire. While I'm at it, I picked. That's the reason why the tarp was there. An effective surveillance camera, which emitted danger. I'd be electric. But the camera still contained a tape. The cable wasn't insulating rubber. I love pistachios. I thought it was better to look. Maybe. Maybe. Couldn't they Was it really? Sometimes. It looked like solid workmanship. Unfortunately, the wick was too I didn't need the wick for the candle, but for the stick. A piece of cake.
Aspetta, no, che è successo?
Matthew threw me an expressive look. He gave off a very powerful.
Cacchio. Non l'ho fatta apposta. Ah, che dolore.
Hey, I'd put some ice on that. Maybe I went a bit overboard with the brute force.
Vediamo un po' cosa abbiamo nella casetta degli attrezzi.
I found some adhesive tape and.
Ah, apposta. Proprio quello che mi serviva. Torniamo alla telecamera.
I thought it was better to look with these. Was it really what? The pincer would have shredded the wax, but it would. I was all out of. No matter how hard I tried, in that moment, no matter how hard, couldn't they repair?
Elettricista simulator, sì.
There was another. No, that.
Allora, prendiamo i proiettili e pestiamoli.
The pestle for the mortar was made of wood, so no.
Il mortaio era in legno.
The bolts were thanks to Quentin. Perfect for extract.
Ok, polvere da sparo presa, quindi la possiamo mettere.
What can I say? Green. I didn't understand. In that moment, I doubted Quentin would let me. In that moment, a large amount of. It wasn't a bad idea, but the wax would have to be more malleable, and I could. That would make the wax more malleable. My stick was only missing a fuse. The cable could have. Soaking it in the gin. In addition to the fuse, I used the scotch tape to affix this. That done?
No, è la cera
Finally
usato come
completed my
tappo.
little destruction work. I just. In that moment.
Ora è pronta. Ho dovuto squagliare la cera per fare il tappo praticamente. Ora per accenderla dovevo usare, penso, la scintilla della telecamera. Sta qua. Vedi? Quindi faccio così.
At the right moment, I'd like. Quick phone called Alice, and we could. So, that's the plan in broad terms. It's a bit
Lars, I'm not sure anymore.
In that case, contact Burton. Old Seamus will listen to you.
All right. Lars,
Yeah.
Bombarolo, sì.
I just wanted to say that.
I know, Alice.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't exactly. Okay, yes, we'll celebrate tonight.
I really did know, Alice.
Mi sa che Alice è innamorata e anche Lars.
Here we go. There will be no going back after.
What a mess.
I guess someone should tell them.
Matthew took the rest of the day off. His foot was swollen like a raft. I'll go. Hey, blokes. Is the red Beetle parked outside the graveyard yours?
What if it is?
It just crashed into a priceless vintage car. If I were you, I'd...
What?
You always forget.
Damn it! Move, Morticia!
The long-awaited moment of fireworks had come.
Vediamo.
We're coming, Carlo. Fulfill your duty one last time, and I'll free you.
Ma che può fare questo? Comunque credo che siamo proprio nell'atto finale, Ma che cazzo? Ma che sta facendo? Poco ci è mancato.
You stuck your nose where it doesn't belong. One too many, dwarf. Now, beast.
Ma?
There's no time to lose. We have to break in now.
Don't take another step.
Father Carlo, we don't have time for this. Listen to reason.
I can't. I just can't. The fog is thick. In this...
This is not common time. The symbols on the walls, the decorations, sarcophagus.
It's a Rosicrucian mausoleum. We found the place where the soldiers brought the Count of Cagliostro's corpse.
Here flows one of the biggest natural energy sources in the world. Radwed is channeling it in the ritual. His powers have never...
You must try to counter it. Open your eyes for God's
Qui è
sake.
un punto particolare dove Radwid sta avendo più potere rispetto agli altri posti dove lui è andato.
God abandoned me into the hands of the devil. He created me from the mud.
Radwed manipulated you, corrupting your mind, depriving you of your faith, even of your sister.
Marie is safe, far away from all this.
Unfortunately, she also fell victim to this senseless war. I was there when it happened.
No, Radwed swore that.
He'd say anything to complete his work. Don't you see that he's used you as a puppet?
Stand back. Don't force me to take your life.
I have more important things to protect than my own life.
You have the strength and the confidence that I never found in myself. But I can still make up for my mistakes. Our souls will burn together in hell, servant of the snake.
Che
I
cacchio?
don't serve anyone. But everyone will serve me now.
Cosa gliela rimanda indietro? Alla Matrix.
too late.
God, please. Forgive me if you can.
Preciso.
You used the right word to describe this man. Puppet. You are all puppet.
Oh mamma, la cosa si sta facendo pesante, ragazzi.
Gentlemen, let's all get comfortable.
What the hell?
This power is an abomination.
Have you really sacrificed your son?
Ma si è tagliato la mano?
I won't harm a single hair of his. This baby is the blood of my blood, and that make the deep hate I generated in Molsberg was enough to fabricate the hand of glory. He was convinced he was my right man. The poor fool. Sure, I had to give up an arm, but no matter. I acquired a brand new one.
Mamma mia.
Could I not see that? The moon is the route to the afterlife. A portal that allowed you to communicate with the world of the spirits. The hand of glory.
I will transfer my soul into the body of my son. The only one. This is my masterpiece. What every alchemist in history has sought all their lives. The real Philosopher's Stone.
Then, find the devil, an angel with a fluttering white tuft of... We needed to give Alice the chance to act, but despite the power of Sigillum Emme,
The Grandmaster was right.
I remembered that I wasn't fighting the battle alone.
Nothing more than a lunatic. A megalomaniac madman.
Do not dare to judge me. What do you think you achieved? You, your Grandmaster. History won't remember you. It will never even...
Some stories must be kept hidden. Yours is...
Credo che sia il momento adatto. Bambino preso.
A last pitiful attempt.
Anything but useless, then.
Nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, everything is transformed. It's a law that always fascinated me. I'm anxious to test its validity.
Oddio, che sta facendo?
No!
Now that we're finally alone, it's your turn, you pathetic crap.
Shut your mouth once and for all. Even if it's the last
Ok,
thing you
devo
do.
pensare velocemente su quello che devo fare.
You still have a few tricks up.
Sigillum Emmett absorbed part of Radwed's power.
Come on, detective.
Oddio.
Irrelevant as ever. I wonder why the doctor chose you. I bet you don't even understand yet how to use my mirror. You have it with you. It's time to end. Look carefully, Lazarus Bundy. Look into the black well of your soul.
Quindi?
It's all right. Quiet now. Oh no.
Mama was...
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my son.
Put the baby down, miss. He wants you, she can.
No. I feel my
Oh
breath
mamma,
failing
se
me.
la stanno guaiando tutti. Cos'è sta storia?
I don't want to die.
Matita.
It's inhumane, but it's the only chance.
E che devi fare? Se non ce ne sono altre. Ah, proprio... Mamma mia, proprio nella giugulare. Mamma mia, pesante.
What is this place? How did I end up here?
Welcome to my temple, Lazarus. This is the place where we will finally meet.
I can't feel anything. Has the moment?
You've been allowed far too much time to prepare yourself. Don't you think? In the meantime, I was craving to finally meet you.
Show your face.
You won't be pleased to be in my presence.
Show your face,
Va bene, a posto.
You're right. But you wouldn't be so bad with a bit of eyeshadow.
After all these months, I still struggle to understand your humor. It must be a strange defense.
Who are you?
Do you really need to ask? You should have grown used to my presence. You take me to bed at night. You wake up receiving me in the coolness of your pillow.
You're the poison running.
Cos'è il suo cancro?
What are you waiting for? If everything I've done or will do will inevitably lead me to
You've been a worthy enemy, and that's why I'll be merciful. Just a bite, and then...
Ma? Che senso?
Tekla?
Are you giving up so easily?
E lei come c'è finita qua? Me lo spiegate?
Stand up, cretin.
Lo and behold, things are getting interesting.
He's mine. Get lost, you bloated primate. This moment is ours. I won't allow any interference. You insist on not.
The human being is weak and pretentious. He thinks he can control the world. Your DNA is the perfect receptacle of our existence. We just need a crack.
In your case, you open wide the entire gate.
Delicious, intoxicating smoke. We will eat your lung. We will eat you alive.
You're claiming victory too soon. Look at you. You don't even have the energy to talk.
Well, we're everywhere.
Unstoppable. You're right. I can't beat you. But in these last days, to slow you down.
Molto simbolica questa cosa.
Finish your job, Bundy.
Stop that infernal being once and for all. Make up for our mistakes.
Now I get why they call you the Mutt.
You can't actually be here.
Well, in a certain sense, I am.
There's no going back, is there? I wish I had more time. But in the end, there's never enough time. Is there?
Cos'è un'esperienza per le
I
morte?
can't help you with Radwed. But I can give you one little push.
I don't understand! You...
Sigillum Mammoth is protecting me, but...
No! Back!
Abbiamo finito? Dite che l'abbiamo
Why wasn't I
finito?
satisfied? I mean, I had what I wanted, didn't I?
Ah, ma è morto? Morto
Final place.
Lazarus?
A last heroic act before going. The reputation of Lazarus Bundy was saved.
Oh wow.
And the web of lies did its job. Lies. Maybe that was the whole point. I had planned to lie to everybody. I had become so good at it that I didn't even notice anymore. But I didn't plan on lying to you too. The first time was difficult.
Oh mamma.
But the second was devastating.
Ciao Peter. Aspetta, però non ho allora è ancora vivo? Si è finto morto? Tutto bene, sei arrivato alla fine del gioco, Peter. Aspetta, allora aspetta. Tyra, aiutami tu. Allora, lui è morto o secondo te cioè, si è salvato però si finge morto forse per proteggere a cosa? Ad Eris. Che poi proteggere da chi se poi fondamentalmente... Vediamo se magari c'è un'altra scena post credit. Ah, a me è piaciuto. Io gli do 8 e mezzo. Per la storia, per l'ambientazione, per il villain, per questo finale molto particolare, anche per questa parte, l'ultima, proprio il finale è stato prende lui proprio in una fase di premorte. Mi è piaciuto, complimenti a questo team italiano che ha realizzato questo punto e click che è stato veramente bello. Mi ha ricordato tantissimo Broken Sword e Gabriel Knight, insomma. No, no, veramente molto bello, ragazzi, molto bello. Io vi dico sempre che i punta e click sono un genere ormai secondo me sottovalutato, ma sanno trasmettere veramente tanto. Qualche volta ve li porto i primi due Broken Sword, perché sono veramente belli. Non so se Tyra o voi li conoscete, questo gioco Broken Sword. Sì, soprattutto se sono scritti e fatti bene. Andiamo avanti con i titoli di coda. Magari c'è un cameo.
Radwood failed.
That means I will have to correct his mistakes.
What do we do with the baby?
non è finita? Dobbiamo aspettarci il 2? E mi sa di sì. Eric. Ok, allora in effetti sono rimasti delle cose in sospeso, perché comunque il bambino che fine ha fatto? Perché Alice non l'abbiamo vista che aveva di nuovo il bambino durante il funerale. Quindi mi viene da pensare che lui si è finto morto, cioè in qualche modo è sopravvissuto, forse il corpo non l'avevano trovato e quindi l'hanno dato per morto, gli hanno fatto il funerale, Alice non lo sa. E lui forse sta continuando a indagare. Continuerà a indagare. Forse non so se faranno un The End of Glory 2. Però per come è finito vuol dire che i membri di questa setta a cui apparteneva praticamente Radwed vogliono, tra virgolette, continuare quello che Radwed stava realizzando, quindi ottenere la mano della gloria. Ok, allora se è così, me lo aspetto un bel sequel, perché no? Speriamo, che dite ragazzi? Oh, veramente, molto bello. Molto molto bello. E spero che ci saranno anche da scoprire insieme altri punti e click da sconosciuti, perché ripeto, è un gioco che non si è fatto, non si è parlato completamente di questo, cioè gli unici di cui io ho letto recensioni sono i ragazzi di Adventure Planet, che sono proprio un sito che si dedica solo ai punti e click, e lì vedo ogni volta quello che esce di nuovo. Ma poi non li vedete, non vedete mai pubblicità di questo genere, non vedete, cioè è raro che trovate degli articoli su questi giochi. Tra l'altro ne ho alcuni in lista dei desideri. Ve li faccio anche vedere perché su Steam, ve li faccio anche vedere. Che sembrano essere molto interessanti. A parte che su Steam c'è il Capodanno lunare, quindi proprio ci sono gli sconti. Allora, uno di questi, vabbè, il prossimo che vorrei portare, che non so se in base al sondaggio che ora stiamo facendo nel gruppo Telegram, il prossimo sarà praticamente Black Sad Under the Skin, che ci aspetta. Questo per esempio già ce l'ho installato e presto sarà un altro dei giochi punti e click che porterò praticamente qui allo Scumbarre. Sembra essere molto interessante perché abbiamo a che fare con una lore, un'ambientazione dove i protagonisti, cioè, sono tutti animali antropomorfi. Il protagonista praticamente di questo gioco è questo detective gatto, che dovrà indagare su determinati casi. Quindi questo sembra essere veramente molto molto simpatico. Gabriele Wizard, per esempio, il mio amico l'ha giocato e dice che è stato veramente molto bello e divertente. Ah, lo conosci, Mr. Scelte? No, questo veramente sono molto. Anche perché è stato realizzato dagli stessi autori della saga di Runaway e Hollywood Monster. Quindi la Pendulo Studio. E sono certo che i ragazzi della Pendulo Studio hanno fatto un ottimo lavoro. Tra l'altro, come punta e clicca, la Pendulo Studio, dopo Black Sad, ha realizzato praticamente un altro gioco che si chiama Vertigo. Ispirato, anzi per l'esattezza il titolo è Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo. Sì, è della penna, esatto. Praticamente Vertigo è la trasposizione videoludica del film di Hitchcock, La donna che visse due volte. Anche questo è un titolo che io ce l'ho in lista desideri perché comunque, ripeto, tutto quello che ha fatto la Pendulo Studio sono veramente titoli di spessore e anche con belle sceneggiature. Eh, ve li porterei, perché sicuramente qualche cosa... Scusate, ma il sonno mi sta uccidendo. Ora andiamo a chiudere. Sono comunque dei titoli molto belli, molto belli. Questo lo giocherò pure, lo prenderò pure. Al momento costa ancora troppo, costa 24 euro. Però è messo in lista d'attesa. Messo in lista d'attesa questo, come ha messo in lista d'attesa anche Gibbous. A Cthulhu Adventure, tra l'altro su Steam è in offerta, quindi sarei molto tentato di prenderlo. Questo gioco mi pare che è stato realizzato pure da un gruppo italiano. Sembra essere una serie, un gioco punta e clicca molto demente, però le animazioni mi piacciono, guardate come sono fatti i disegni. Sembra essere molto molto interessante, però credo che questo sia molto demenziale, e quindi ci sarà da ridere. Purtroppo sono sempre sottotitolati questi giochi. Bello, bello, bello cartunesco, sembra proprio disegnato a mano. E ce n'era un altro che volevo farvi vedere. Ah, Willy Morgan. Willy Morgan. È la maledizione della città d'ossa. Questo qua è un altro titolo, molto ispirato anche a Monkey Island. E... Aghi Boss lo conosci pure? Ok. Questo qua sembra essere proprio bello e interessante, molto inventivo, ci sono dei bei enigmi, eh, insomma, sono tutte belle avventure che da quello che ho capito, scusate, meritano tantissimo. A me piacciono tantissimo i punti e clicca, veramente. Mi sono veramente allenano il cervello. Comunque, anche questo qua è un gioco che hanno saputo, hanno realizzato qualcosa veramente di molto particolare. Infatti queste ambientazioni, come potete vedere, tutte cose squadrate, un po' la Tim Burton potremmo dire. Vedremo. Questo è proprio un gioco punta e clicca da caccia al tesoro. Ma ce ne sono veramente tanti, ragazzi, ce ne sono veramente tanti. Infatti un altro... Questo però è il quarto capitolo di una saga di cui tra poco uscirà il quarto capitolo. Non so se conoscete la saga di Siberia. La saga di Siberia, per esempio, storica, storica, bellissima, o per meglio dire, bellissimi i primi due. Io ho giocato il 3, ma non è che mi sia piaciuto tantissimo, anche perché è una saga che fondamentalmente si era finita col secondo capitolo, poi dopo anni hanno voluto riprenderlo. Però è fantastica per quello che si va ad esplorare come lore, come ambientazione. È veramente molto bella. E quindi ora faranno questo quarto capitolo che sono due storie intrecciate, la continuazione della storia di Kate Walker, e poi c'è una storia prequel, a quanto ho capito. Ehm, Veramente, ma anche questo qua mi piacerebbe veramente giocarci e vedere un po' che cosa hanno realizzato, che sembra essere veramente molto interessante. Tra l'altro questo gioco dovrebbe uscire a breve. Doveva uscire il 10 di dicembre, ma poi l'hanno spostato, infatti esce il 18 marzo. 18 marzo. Ma vedremo, vedremo, sono tutti i giochi che sono messi in wishlist. A tutto ciò, in ogni caso ci siamo divertiti. Allora ragazzi, io domani sera dovrebbe esserci la live horror, però non sono certo che farò la live, quindi vi tengo aggiornati a riguardo sul gruppo Telegram. E andando vediamo se... Ok. o è ancora presto per terminare il sondaggio? Allora, facciamo una cosa. Chiedo a Miss Scelte, visto che non fa parte del gruppo Telegram, eh, come sondaggio per il prossimo gioco da portare durante la settimana, quindi al di fuori delle due rubriche horror e retro gaming, ha messo a votazione tre giochi e sono questi: Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, Black Sad Under the Skin, il punto e clic che abbiamo visto prima. Tu quale voteresti, visto che già che ci siamo, visto che i ragazzi qui presenti già hanno dato il loro voto, però sarebbe bello sapere anche il tuo, così considererò anche il tuo. Vediamo un po' Miss Scelte che cosa dice, cosa sceglie. Forse è una scelta difficile. Ehi, sono qua. No, stavo aspettando a vedere se Miss Scelte mi diceva il suo voto riguardo ai tre prossimi giochi, però forse se n'è andato, non lo so, non mi risponde più. Beh, comunque vedo che siete in 4 user. Sì, può essere, forse mi sa che è stato colpo di sonno, può essere. Vabbè, in ogni caso. Poi quando sarà che vedo che avete votato tutti, chiuderò il sondaggio. Vabbè, in ogni caso, ragazzi, vi faccio sapere per domani. Grazie per avermi fatto compagnia, è stato bello. Vediamo quale sarà il prossimo gioco, lo scopriremo presto. E niente, tutto qua. Ci vedremo la prossima volta per inebriarci ancora una volta di bellezza videoludica insieme qui allo Scumbar. E niente, buonanotte da me. Eh sì, da me. E nel frattempo per conciliare il sonno io mi continuo Harry Potter alla Camera dei Segreti. Ah, avevi problemi di internet? Ah, ok, ok. E ci vuoi dire cosa preferiresti tra Dead Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn e Black Sad? Così teniamo in conto anche la tua opinione. Alla fine sono giochi che a prescindere porterò, però con un ordine di priorità secondo le vostre scelte. Black Sad, ok, va bene. Terrò conto anche della tua votazione di Black Sad, va bene, ok. E allora niente, grazie per avermi fatto compagnia, Miss Scelte, grazie a Peter, grazie a Tyra, vi aspetto, vediamo se domani si farà anche la serata horror, e se no niente, ci vediamo direttamente domenica per la Dosmenica, dove porteremo gli altri tre capitoli di Wolfenstein 3D, e la sera continueremo Matrix Path of Neo. Va bene, buonanotte e a presto. Ciao ciao.